view, the main driving force in today's Ukraine is fear. So the fact that exactly such tactic was chosen by Ukrainian authorities became absolutely clear in October last year when Prime Minister Azarov in his speech at Yalta conference said that fear is one of the main human instincts and it has come into the action. So the fear rules today in Ukraine the actions of all politicians, not all but majority of politicians, journalists, businessmen, even some students, and all persecutions currently taking place in Ukraine are aimed at spreading this fear more and more. Andriy said that he doesn't want Ukraine to become another Belarus. I think that President Yanukovych also doesn't want to become another Lukashenko. He wants to be welcomed in the Western capitals and he would like Western leaders to come and visit Ukraine. And I think that the United States and European Union possess today very important controlling powers. For example, probably some of you know that in April a big conference on Chernobyl tragedy is scheduled to take place in Kyiv. President Obama was invited to visit this conference. In Ukrainian capital, there are some expectations that at least Vice President Biden will come will visit Kyiv. I think that it's a really good idea if Washington puts in some conditions under which such visit can happen, relating them to the level of democracy. Also, Andriy mentioned some radical steps towards Ukraine, like a radical scenario. And I agree that no specific scenario should be created for Ukraine because there is already the one lined out in the resolution of European Parliament towards Belarus. And the only difference that in case of Belarus, the majority of sanctions turn out to be ineffective, but in case in Ukraine, I think they can bring some result. But still, I think that it's not appropriate time for such radical steps. Today, the inexhaustible resource of the informal discussion with Ukrainian president is also worth paying attention to. The only problem, from my point of view, is who is going to be the moderator that stops between the West and Ukrainian president. For example, during President Kuchma time, this role was successfully performed by President Kwasniewski, who could use not only as understandable for Ukrainian politicians, non-diplomatic language, to explain what is a common perception of Ukrainian president and his action in the world. Maybe Vice President Biden would be such a moderator between West and Ukrainian president. Now, I don't know that. As for Ukraine's relations with European Union and Russia, I must say that today relations between Ukraine and European Union are charged with more sense than those between the Ukraine and the Russian Federation. While the relations between the Ukraine and Russia have been limited to short meetings in front of video cameras, as the European Union dimensions, the large-scale negotiations on actual issues like free trade agreement, facilitation of visa regime are being conducted. And I your attention to the next week, because next week we will have a very important round of negotiations between European Union and Ukraine. So next week will be really crucial for European Union and Ukrainian relations. If the negotiations on free trade agreement are of no effect, as they were in December last year, for example, if the Ukrainian delegation does not reach any consensus, the big agreement, association agreement between Ukraine and European Union will not be signed this year, actually. And it means that Russia gets the real chance to activate negotiations within the CIS framework and Western Union framework. So I'll stop here and